family wrestling entertainment, by its very nature, brings about like more of a family-oriented programming and shows that we provide. We mostly run in New York City. We bring a lot of the biggest names out there that are not contracted by World Wrestling Entertainment or TNA, and including Carlito, Maria Kanellis, Tommy Dreamer. We like to think that we're an overall product, meaning that we don't just cater to one style, one specific audience. Unless some companies do that, we're kind of we like to cover all our bases. So that's in general, what we're about. We're entertainment. You'll have the athleticism, of the Japanese wrestling styles. You'll have, a lot of the comedy, such as like Colt Cabana, excellent example right there, and a lot of great young talent. I truly believe that our undercard is one of the best out there.
Now talk about you're the VP of Talent Relations, so just give the fans a little bit of a highlight of who are some of the names that they should watch for.
Yeah, you know what, I'm going to go back to where I think this business really needs to kind of cultivate the talent. It's the younger guys. I mean, then you need the name value. You need the Tommy Dreamers. You need the Carlitos, the Jay Lethals, all those guys that are, the fans already know. But I also believe guys like Jorge Santi, Joey Ace, Funky Fresh Boys, you got the EJ Risk, VSK, the Midnight Sensations, all these guys that you don't necessarily know now, but you will throughout watching our program, throughout watching our DVDs, and following us online.
This started last year in January. They're growing. It's a very fast-growing company. Every show is getting better and better. It's topping the next one, and just the names on the show, they're very helpful. Not only that, they stay in character, they're very helpful. They interact with people like me, because they'll let you know if you suck, and then they'll let you know if you're good. But they'll really let you know if you suck. But it's a fast-growing company. It shows that it's going to be stronger and stronger through the months to come. So yeah, definitely FWE is making an impact.
Now talk about, you said that I was watching one of your promos, you were talking about the greatness of Jorge Santi, so talk a little bit about yourself and your style.
I aim for greatness. I'm the type of guy that I always like to get the job done. I make sure like the crowd goes home more than $25 of the ticket, more than $30 of a ticket. So my style is just, ground. I'm basically I'm everything. Like, if you want a high flyer, you got a high flyer. You want a brawler, you got to fight. You want a technical match, I'll tie you up in a pretzel. I know how I roll.
Nice. Now, I know you've had some run-ins with Diamonds Incorporated.
Yes.
You have a big match with them coming up at
Yes.
FWE with the 10th show on Long Island. So
Yes.
just talk about your rivalry with them and your upcoming match.
I don't know. They're the type of guys that they want to be bullies. And you know what? I never took bullies. I don't take them. I know Dysfunctional Family, I came into the match with Jason Gotti knowing that my cardio was going to be better than his. But this match coming now with Joey Ace, he's the type of guy, he's a hothead, so my strategy is just to make sure he knows that his girlfriend's not talented. And if he gets mad about it, that's where I capitalize on, because when you're mad, you don't think.
Now, I hear with the victory this weekend, you'll get the sweep over Diamonds Incorporated. What would that mean for you to get that?
I'll show people that, number one, single-handedly, in single matches, that the Firebird Jorge Santi, me, got everything done. I could take care of tag team matches. I could take care of anybody out there, even names.
Now talk about a little bit about what it means for you. This is going to be the first show for the company on Long Island. So talk about what it means for you to be a part of that.
Like, that's their first time in Long Island, but I'm no stranger to Long Island. But it'll definitely be something great. I know that they're going to make a big impact on Long Island, and hopefully there'll be more shows in Long Island.
And you guys do a bunch of shows here in the city as well, right?
Yes. We run it down over here.
Now, talk about your perspective of FWE as a wrestler.
Me, I just it's something that's making me more stronger and more confident. Wrestling wise, I'm more confident. Like, you got the older guys there with the names that like I said, they'll let you know if you suck and they'll let you know if you're good. But like Dreamer, if you got Dreamer looking at your match, he'll let you know if you really suck. And he's one of those guys that, he's like a father figure in the wrestling.
And talk about some of your goals with FWE. What would you like to achieve with your time with the company?
Heavyweight champion.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And who do you feel will be some of your biggest rivals as you aim to get the World Heavyweight Championship?
Damien Darling, Jay Lethal, even Tommy Dreamer. I would like to go face to face with those guys.
The rivalry we have with Midnight Sensation goes back probably to when we first started at the company.
Yeah.
They were the it team, and we came along, and it seems as though they don't like that.
Yeah, we were kind of thrown together last minute, but it's grown since then. And I think no one really took us seriously, but the Midnight Sensations made that mistake, and I think now they're realizing that we are the it team in FWE, and they don't like that. They're trying to keep their spot that we're inching up on.
Now talk about a little bit about what it means for you to be a tag team in a brand like FWE, your perspective of the brand.
Well, I think I'm sorry. Whatchamacallit, in FWE, there's a lot of veterans and a lot of younger guys like us looking for an opportunity. So it's really important to us to be there to get that opportunity, because there's like Santi was saying earlier, there was a lot of older guys who are going to look out and watch your matches, and there's a lot of older guys that you're going to get in the ring with, and maybe you'll learn something. But really, it's all about the opportunity and to advance your career. So if we can get in the ring with competitors that we haven't been in the ring with before at FWE, that's only going to help us, and it's going to help Adrenaline Express grow and become a force to be reckoned with.
Now talk about the 10th show. You both are going to be at Carle Place, Long Island for the first time. Benefits are going to be going to Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. Just talk about all that for our fans.
I mean, it's a great opportunity, one, for the fans to come down and, see guys, the veterans and the new guys, the newcomers like ourselves and Santi and guys like that. But it's also a great opportunity to support something really great, some research for, like you said, what is it?
Multiple sclerosis.
Multiple sclerosis, please. I have trouble announcing, pronouncing that. But, like I said, you see great action. It's for a great cause, and I mean, there's no reason to come down and see the best wrestling in town.
Now talk about, for the first time, FWE is going to have tag team championships. What does that mean for you as tag team wrestlers to actually have a belt to go after now?
It means that we've made our mark. It means that we are the best team, as we know that we are, in FWE.
You see, right now in wrestling, it seems like tag team wrestling is really, it's really fallen off. It's hard to find. So when you get a group of people like FWE has, a bunch of different teams, a bunch of different young guys looking to get to the top of that mountain, it makes for good competition, and to win that tournament and to become the tag team champions mean that we really did something amazing. For the first time ever, if we can get that, that's a big deal.
Now I know this rivalry with Midnight Sensations is going to be wrapping it up before you actually challenge for the eventual championships. So talk about what challenging a team like the Midnight Sensations will hopefully...
Well, we've been fighting them now for a few months, so I don't know if it's going to wrap up. I mean, this match will happen before the tournament's over, but I feel like with the Sensations, it's not going to be over until one of us, makes a big impact and one of us can prove that we are the better team. So maybe after we win those tag titles, because we're going to win those tag titles, maybe the Sensations are going to be looking to get a match against us.
Now, VSK, I understand that this is your hometown of Long Island, so how special is it going to be for you to be performing in front of your hometown crowd?
It's a really cool thing, because back in the day in high school, I used to wrestle amateur, and I used to go to Carle Place for tournaments and meets. So it'll be a really cool thing to go back to somewhere I've wrestled 10 years ago, and get to show off all my new skills and what I do now. It'll be really nice.
For the fans at home who haven't seen you yet, just talk about a little bit about your wrestling style, what they could expect to see in your match at WWE.
Not to toot our own horn.
No, we don't like to do that.
It just sounds the best. No. Personally, I think that Adrenaline Express, myself, and VSK are a breath of fresh air to especially to the tag scene. Not just wrestling in itself. We bring excitement. We bring things that the people want to see, what they pay their hard-earned money for, and that is to be entertained. And that, at the end of the day, is what we do.
Adrenaline Express, really, it all says it in the name. We didn't just pick it out of a hat. Did we? Did we pick it out of a hat?
You know what? I think we were drunk to one night.
Right, okay, never mind.
That's what
Family
it was.
wrestling.
Right. Sorry, Mike.
And any final words for the fans at home that may be watching this about FWE, the 10th show at Carle Place?
Come down, see the best action in town, Come down, support a great cause. Come down and see the two best in the tag team division do what we do best, and that is win. Midnight Sensations, we're coming for you guys.
You know, if you look at us, even if you look at the DVD from the very beginning, you look at how I would say amateurish it looked. Even though you had good name value, you know, you had Eric Young, Charlie Haas, Chad Gaspard. You know, you had a couple of good all-round names. I don't think the product, if you look at it now, tenfold. I mean, it's gotten phenomenal. I mean, from the production end, from the name value, from the actual in-ring stuff that you're gonna see. It's gotten so much better. As a wrestler, I think the hardest part is being able to manage both. When you do, you know, the back end stuff, you know, making sure that things are done on a timely fashion, making sure that people get there when they're supposed to get there, and that the matches, you know, go out and do their thing. You know, you got to motivate these guys to go out there and bust their backside to make sure that, you know, they put on the best show. The people are paying top dollar to watch these guys. So I always felt, you know, me as a wrestler, I have to go out there and give them their all. And me as you know, VP, as a top end of the spectrum, of the other spectrum, you got to motivate these guys to really go out there and give them the best show possible.
Now, this will be the first time for the company going outside, doing a show outside of New York. Going to be making the Long Island debut. Talk a little bit about the 10th show of FWE at Carle Place.
You know, a lot of people look at it, okay, it's a 10th show. You know, it's not like it's Raw coming up with the 1,000th show, and that's fair enough. But in this environment that we're in today, where there's a lot of competition, where there's the WWE, there's TNA, there's, you know, Ring of Honor, and there's every other company in between, a 10th show is a big deal. Especially considering that we were consistently and are consistently run in Manhattan, it's unheard of. I think that we have consistently put on some of the better shows out there. We're going to continue to get better. It's going to continue to get bigger. And ultimately, you know, we're in a new market. You know, our expectation is that we're going to go out there and really work to get the place filled up, and more importantly, to give those people out there in Long Island a bigger reason to come back and watch our product. It really is a great product. It's not me just saying it. I've been around. I've wrestled in West Virginia. I wrestled in farms in front of 10 people in Ohio. I've wrestled in front of 500 people in festivals in Long Island as well. And a couple, thousand in the Elks Lodge. So I've been all over the place, and I can tell you what's good and what's not. This is a great show, and come July 28th, we're gonna set that building on fire, literally.
And I was about to say, maybe you could give your perspective of what makes FWE special and what makes it good.
I think what makes the brand special is that, what I said before, I think what you're going to find is a little bit of everything. You're going to find, good comedic stuff from guys like Colt Cabana, who is very entertaining. He's an entertaining guy. He knows how to wrestle, of course, but very entertaining, can get those fans going. You got the younger guys like Matt Taven. Again, Matt Taven just got signed to the WWE, so, we must be doing something right. Not saying that we were the end-all be-all as to the reason he got signed, but we know talent. We can see a guy like that and can tell he's a really good guy to have on the roster. You got the high-flying, insane high-flying of Wes Draven. A guy like that can do some incredible stuff in the ring. If you've never seen him before, July 28th, please, I implore you, come to the show. Him versus Matt Taven. Will be Matt Taven's last independent date, I would assume. It's going to be incredible. I mean, if you've never seen Wes Draven or Matt Taven before, you're going to be in for a pleasant surprise. You got the guys like the Midnight Sensations. Those guys, very colorful, very, outspoken. VSK and EJ Risk, very athletic. And then you got the guys like the Carlitos. I mean, Carlito, in any which form you slice it, is going to be controversial. He's going to be entertaining, and he's going to go out there and he's going to put it all out there. I think a lot of guys do it to show the younger guys, well, I haven't lost a step. So I think the younger guys keep the name guys in check when it comes to like going out there and giving their all. But ultimately, I think the fact that you have the women as well. The women don't necessarily get, if you look at WWE and TNA in a sense, they don't necessarily get as much out of their matches, out of what they're doing, comparatively. And it's not on them. It's what their company. That's their thing. That's their company. Here in FWE, what we do is we go out our way to to make sure that the women get, out there, that they're noticed. Not so much, obviously, they're beautiful women, of course, but we also want to let you fans know that they're athletic as well and that they're very good at doing what they do.
Now talk a little bit about the women's division. I mean, there are some really impressive names in the women's division, but maybe
Yeah.
for the fans at home who may not know, just list off some names that are with the FWE brand.
I think the one thing about the women's division is that that they've happened to hold a high regard. A year ago, we didn't have our first show. We didn't have a women's match. There was no. Not that we have an idea. I think we also didn't really believe at that point that it was needed. However, come our second show over in May 2011, we incorporated our first women's match, which was Winter versus Rosita, two women from TNA, and we saw that it got a reaction. We've since then we've had everyone from Madison Rain to Melina Perez to Maria Canales, of course, Winter, who's our current champion. We've incorporated them into our company. Of course, we could forget No Limits, best crowd we've had. Over 400 people turned out to see the women's tournament, which had Maria Canales, Miss Brooke Tessmacher, current TNA champion, Tara, who is incredible in every which way, Winter, of course, and it speaks for itself. They go out there and they put on a great show, and they show you they're more about substance and instead of the actual look, which is important.
Now, I understand that the proceeds for the July 28th event will be going to multiple sclerosis research. How special was that for you to be able to build that relationship and just talk to the fans at home a little bit about being able to do that?
Absolutely. We got in touch. Well, actually, Nick Pappas, who is actually the one helping us run this show, he had gotten in touch with a couple of companies out there in Long Island. For whatever reason, they weren't able to get an agreement or meet each other's needs. So Nick had heard about us, and so he contacted us. And it's for the Myelin Foundation. They do great work in terms of looking up, researching cures for multiple sclerosis. In the past, I've had friends who've been diagnosed with it. It is a very serious condition, and ultimately, I think me as a person, not just take away from the business end, take away from the wrestling. I truly believe that this is an important thing. Anytime you can put, whether it's your time, money, or effort into something that is important as finding a cure or finding some sort of research that's going to help these people, that's important, and that just speaks volumes, because that to me is ultimately the goal. Helping others, there's nothing better than that. Like, you can take away the fact that we're going out there and we're going to put on a great show, which speaks for itself. But I think the biggest thing is that we're also able to help other people. That's you can't put a price on that. July 28th, 168 Cherry Lane. We're going to be there on July 28th, 7:30 bell time. I implore you. Look, I'm not telling you because, again, I work for the company. If I were to work out of the company and look in and see what they were doing, I can tell you that FWE runs one of the most professional, one of the best shows you're going to get your money for. I absolutely, in my bottom of my heart, believe it. I think, you see the card, you see Carlito, Brian Kendrick, who just came back from Japan, Tommy Dreamer, Jay Lethal. You see it a first time ever, all four of these guys competing for one title. Yeah, that's enough, to really, make you want to come to a show. If that doesn't make you want to come to a show, you're going to get the Midnight Sensations versus VSK and EJ Risk. All these guys well known throughout the independents. They are going to go out of their way to give you the most bang for your buck. I truly believe it. On top of that, you're going to get Maria Canales versus Winter. These two have been going at it for months on end. We will finally see these two go at it one-on-one. No tag match, no outside interference. These two are going to go at it. Damian Darling will be competing against Azriel, one of the better-known guys out there. These two are going to tear it down. I can guarantee you out there. Folks, you got Mr. Spectacular, Jesse Goddard. If you've seen CBS recently, he was just on. You can't forget about Jesse Goddard. I'm sure he won't let you forget. Against Julio De Niro, making his debut. Folks, go out there, get your tickets. It's for a great cause. It's for an incredible cause. The Myelin Research Foundation for Multiple Sclerosis. July 28th. Check FWWrestling.com for more information and how to get your tickets.
And I also understand that there's going to be a bus available too, which is sensational for the fans that can't drive. So
Absolutely. We have a bus available for you fans out there, you loyal fans out there at FWE. We're going to have a bus stop here in Manhattan. So if you're coming from Manhattan, I think that would be a great bet. Also from Queens, we'll be making a stopover in Queens. Again, check www.fwwrestling.com for more information and how you get your tickets for that as well.
thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Pleasure talking to you, and stay tuned. We've got a lot coming up for you.
Great.
I'm actually pretty excited about this match. I could actually get another belt under my belt. I have 3 in collection right now. I'm looking to get a 4th. Definitely beating Damian Darlin would actually help me accomplish that goal.
And what have been some of the adjustments that you've had to make being a singles wrestler versus being a tag wrestler?
Psychology-wise, has to do a lot of psychology. Well, now that a tag wrestler, you can rely on someone else. As a singles wrestler, there's just you and your opponent. So it's a little easier to me being a tag wrestler because then I got my buddy I could trust and watch my back, as opposed to just being wrestling myself and I just have to take care of myself. So it's a good transition. Yeah, when we get in the ring, it's I want that belt. I want that belt and I want that W under my name.
Now, I don't know if you saw on FWE Twitter, but Sonny had some pretty
choice words to say about me. I actually kind of, how will you say, marked out, or pretty, I got excited to see that Sonny was actually talking about me, a fellow, not fellow, but a WWE Hall of Famer, and a former dealer. That's pretty amazing to have her talk to me, or send me a message. I would have rather had Damian Darlin talk to me rather than her, but it's all good. He wanted to have his girlfriend send me a message. That's fine with me.
Now talk about your perspective of FWE. What makes it special? What makes it different? Tell the fans at home your perspective.
The locker room. I think the locker room is more like family based. Everyone watches everyone's back. Everyone's looks at everyone else's match and critiques it, helps each other out. Having a good locker room is really important in having the business. And the wrestling wise, people are on top of their games, and we got like top stars like Tommy Dreamer helping us out and guiding us the right way, what we can do right or what we do wrong. I like that. I like that a lot.
Talk about the growth of the company and what it means for you to now be a part of the roster that gets to make its Long Island debut on July 28th.
Well, I started FW when they did Brooklyn, and that was a show. Slowly, and then they moved to New York City, and that was pretty cool because it's one of the few companies that run in New York, NYC, and that's pretty exciting. And having it go to Long Island and it's slowly expanding means the company is growing and is getting better. So it just means better things to happen in the future.
Now, what are some of your goals in FWE?
One of my goals would be to get the heavyweight title, the main belt. Now, I would like to get the tag belt, because since I am a tag wrestler now, but eventually I would like to get the singles title, just to say, you know what, I'm top dog here. And you know what, I could do that. I know I can. Together. So, us having that belt now, and we can strive to get those, just means we can show everyone else that we are the top dogs, or top tag team in this company. And probably even the Northeast, or even wrestling in general. So, I know Junior would agree with me on this. We are open challenges to anybody who thinks we're not the best. So that belt, those belts just mean that much to us.
Now, for fans who might not have seen you yet, describe your wrestling style and what they could expect to see from you on the ring.
All right. Well, a little history. My idol, Eddie Guerrero. I try to emulate his moves. His technique was more of a lucha, Japanese wrestling. That's the same I do. Japanese lucha, wrestling, American. So I don't know. If people who've seen me wrestle before do notice that the fact that Eddie Guerrero was my idol, because I do emulate a lot of his moves, and I'm happy when I hear that.
Give us a little bit of a scouting report on Damian Darlin.
So, you know what? I haven't really been doing my research on Damian Darlin. I know maybe he's been in the business for 3, maybe 4 years. I may be wrong. But besides that, he hasn't interested me at all. So, come to this match. Like I said, I'm pretty excited to this match just because of the fact that I can actually show that I'm actually a better wrestler than he is.
Now, who would be some of the people that you would be interested in having a rivalry with?
Jay Lethal. All right. I had a well-noted feud with Jay Lethal back when we first started. Me and him, I actually been wrestling almost about the same years, 10 years. And I know when we first started, like the first 2 years, we got a feud up and down Northeast, well noted. And since that feud, since 2003, 2004, we haven't touched ever. And the fact that I know he's grown in talent, and I know I've grown in talent, I would definitely love to see us get in the ring one more time and see where we can take this time.
Anybody else on the roster that you would like to challenge?
Brian Kendrick, he's another fellow guy I've wrestled before in another company. And Time and Dreamer, Paul London, there's another guy. Yeah, the list goes on and on. I know there's a couple of guys I've been wanting to get my hands on, and I know that I've grown better in my talent, in my craft, and I'm actually more confident. I'm sure I can actually give them a match for everyone to be excited about. So yeah, like that.
And do you have any words for Damian Darlin before your big match at FWE?
I think I've said enough about Damian Darlin. Damian, the next time you want to send a message, please, you send the message, not your girlfriend. I would respect that more. But I like the fact that your girlfriend talked Spanish to me, and that's pretty sexy, especially a former WWE diva.